Hey everyone, are there any rules that obligate a buyer's agent to be physically present at a home inspection? And does it make a difference if the buyer themselves are going to be physically present? And to my knowledge, there are no written guidelines that govern in this area. However, from a just doing your job standpoint, the buyer's agent should definitely be there for a home inspection, and the reason is that an inspection report is good, but it only tells you so much. It's limited. They're going to list out every little thing that they possibly find wrong with the home, just to cover themselves. And they're going to follow it up with, please see, consult a licensed contractor or engineer or something like that. It's going to be really hard to uh, comb through that for a buyer or an agent and figure out what's really important, what they really need to worry about, if anything. So, the benefit of being physically there, you get to talk to the inspector, you get to actually physically see the things that are in the report. And what's key is a good inspector will set all the little stuff aside, like these are little things that are typically you find wrong with a home, and really say these two or three things are of the biggest concern. And it's hard to get that from a report. And they may say that structurally it's sound. There are no major concerns. I would buy this house, something like that. So that part is really important. So that is why it's important not only for the buyer's agent to be there, but for the buyer themselves to try to be there by the end of the inspection to have that conversation, uh, or at least be available for a phone call. I always try to structure that. A lot of times the buyer won't be able to be there physically because of work or because they're out of state, but you could usually arrange time for the phone call, whether it's like right at the end of the inspection or just later in the evening. Having that talk is really important to allow the buyer to make the best decision in going forward with the transaction. Otherwise, there's always that risk that they could see that report and they could just look at all the stuff that's in it and just overreact to it and pull out when they don't really need to. So uh, there's no written guidelines, but when the folks at the North Carolina Real Estate Association posed the question to their legal department, the legal department said emphatically that a buyer's agent should be there just from a standpoint of supervising access to the seller's property. Two exceptions: appraisers, because they are licensed realtors anyway, and if the inspection doesn't require the inspector to go inside the house, that is not as important from that standpoint. But if the buyer is going to be physically present at the inspection, then the buyer agent should definitely be there. If they're not, they could be potentially in violation of Section 6A 8 of the real estate license law, which is being unworthy or incompetent to act as a real estate broker in a manner as to endanger the interest of the public. And, we wouldn't want to be in violation of that. So they really should be there from an ethical as well as a practical standpoint. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks.